Hi, my name is Kirk Weisler. Welcome to Walkie Talkie Socks.com. So my intention here is to kind of tell you the story behind the story of how Walkie Talks Socks got started and where the idea came from. And the idea came from crazy socks. And I bet many of you, if you're here, probably have crazy socks too. So when I was a young father, Rebecca and I have six kids. When I was a young father, somewhere along the way of, I think as I just became a speaker like 25, 26 years ago, somewhere along the way, I got a pair of crazy socks. And the crazy socks movement really started about 16 years ago. But these were creative socks and I liked them. And I was like, oh, I was proud to wear them. Well, most of us remember being kids. And if you had dads that you cared about, one of the things that was hard for a lot of kids was what do you get your dad for Father's Day and for his birthday and for Christmas? And if your dad likes something or you think he likes something, he's going to get a lot of that. And guess what? I got a lot of socks. And within 10 or 12 years of that, I soon had over 350 pairs of socks. Like I had so many socks and they were cool and they were wonderful and they're from all over and they were from my friends and my family. And I had like laundry baskets full of socks. And so I started mismatching my socks. I can't wear all these socks all the time. So I would just mismatch the socks. And then one day I just was thinking about a friend of mine that I admired. He was always able to create metaphors and stories out of anything. And I said, well, I'm a storyteller. I need to really, I'm going to use these socks as a tool to help me improve my craft. And I thought, well, not just a story, but what if I use socks to help enforce my stories? And also, what if I use socks as part of my affirmation? I was trying to get better at having affirmations. People had taught me about affirmations and being more intentional. So I began to look at my socks as tools and began to mismatch my socks. For example, I might pull these two socks out and I might say, today I'm going to eat right or I'm going to eat healthy and I'm going to focus on being a champion and champions care about what they eat, right? And so this could be a day of nutrition. I tell a story called Ducks in Row and dump trucks and rubber ducks and dump trucks. And so this might be something I use to support my keynote. So I think about how I'm going to use the ducks as a metaphor that day. Um, Eggs. I've got another one that's bacon and bacon and eggs. And, both animals contribute to breakfast, but who contributes more? Who pays a greater price for breakfast? The pig or the egg? Am I fully committed to what it is I want to provide? You obviously stretch yourself. Today I'm going to stretch myself. This is kind of a UFO sock, if you will, that we see on here. We see the cows being taken up to space. There's a book I use called The Big Move by Seth Godin, but this could be an out of this world customer experience. I might be giving a presentation on customer experience. Sharks. Today I'm going to be curious. Today I'm looking for learning. What am I looking for today? Where's Waldo was a search and find. That phrase, when pigs fly, and what does that mean? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, what if we see it when we believe it? Instead of believe it when we see it. And then this is a bunch of superheroes. What is your superpowers? We talk about our gifts and our strengths and focusing on our strengths, that kind of thing. So I began to use socks as tools, and then I used to begin to use them also in leadership programs. And so if I was working with a group on leadership coaching, we'd start mismatching our socks and then start declaring our intentions, and then we'd step into our intentions and stay in those intentions all day long. And then that kind of caught on, and then I had this idea, I want to do my own sock brand called Walkie Talkie Socks. And about 7 years ago, I registered the URL walkietalkiesocks.com and carefully did nothing with it because what do I know about making socks? I barely know how to tie my own shoes, and I've accidentally written a couple books, but I don't know about making socks. So I made excuses. I don't know if anyone's really good at making excuses. I made excuses for 6.5 years. And and in 2024, a couple of my friends called me out and said, Kirk, you've been talking about this sock idea for off and on, but when are you going to do it? And I knew they were right. It was in all my journals of the past several years that this idea, and it kept resurfacing. But so I said, I'm going to do it no matter what. And so this year, I totally committed to it and ended up meeting some people. I gave them my sock designs. They said, okay, we see what you're trying to do here, but you're not a good designer. These are great ideas. And then they designed some really cool socks that you're seeing now on Walkie Talkie Socks. So the idea is that we've got 10 designs ordered. 10 more designs will be available by December. And by February, we'll have 40 of our cool designs out there. And then by March or April, we hope to have 60 designs available and then all the way to 100. So we want Walkie Talkie Socks to be a movement. We kind of say our socks don't match, and that's on purpose. And purpose is how we want to live our lives with greater purpose. And part of greater purpose is greater focus. To kind of stay in, right? We set our intentions sometimes, we get distracted, we get offline, we get off. And so today I am patient. Today I am brave. Today I am focused on seeing others. Today I'm going to light up for others, those kind of things. Here's a couple of designs. You can see them on the website, but I'll hold them up here. So we've gone to different sock manufacturers looking for the one we want to work with. And one of them created this. And so this is light up for others. So there's a bunch of light bulbs down here that are not lit up. And what does it mean to light up for others? This is another one of our designs that, again, you can see these on the website, but this is kind of, we call it the F bomb. And it's got a bunch of bombs on it. But it's not the F bomb that we're familiar with. We said, let's take a negative and make it a positive. So on this particular sock, the F bomb sock, there's 6 F bombs: family, finance, fitness, focus, fuel, faith. And so what's the F bomb you want to drop today? And get explosively good and positive in life. So the idea is we're on a mission at Walkie Talkie Socks to help you stay focused on your mission, to help you walk your talk and to stay focused in that. The idea also is kind of once you start wearing these crazy socks and people know that you're doing it, they're going to say, "Hey, so what are you focused on today?" And now other people in your friendship circle in a beautiful accountable way can invite you back to your focus. And you can say, today I'm focused on. And that kind of helps us bring back. And maybe it'll catch on and maybe you can help other people become more affirming and more intentional and more focused on the things where they want to grow and where they want to stay as well. So anyway, shop around, try some of our socks, look for new socks that we're going to be dropping some every couple months. We also have the safety line. So if you're in construction or safety, that's the safety series. I do a lot of stuff on safety culture. And so that's what those are about. And we'll look forward to seeing you. And listen, find us on Instagram and say, hey, today we'd love to know how you're matching your socks. And match one of our crazy socks with some crazy socks you already have and send us some of your ideas and where you're stepping up and stepping more intentionally in your life. We'd love to hear about it. Thanks.